Hi, I'm Senator Tom Harkin. I want to send my warm regards to all of the young Democrats, college young Democrats from around Iowa who are gathered here at Iowa State today. I want to thank Abhishek Vermeer for hosting this. I assume you're still the president of the Iowa State University Young Democrats. If not, congratulations to your successor. I am sorry I couldn't be there. I'd love to have been there to meet with you personally, all of you, and I mean that for a lot of reasons. First of all, I kind of started as a young Democrat at Iowa State. I got active in college YDs at Iowa State, and I was president of the Iowa State University Young Democrats in 1961-62. Ancient history, right? But we worked very hard, and we had a great organization, and a lot of us young people at that time were very much involved in getting a history professor at Iowa State by the name of E.B. Smith to run for the United States Senate in 1962. And we were very active also in organizing for then Harold Hughes to run for governor of Iowa. Well, E.B. did not make it to the Senate, even though a lot of us worked very hard on his campaign. But Harold Hughes was elected in 1962 as governor of Iowa, and ushered in an era of really progressive change in the state of Iowa. I can remember being on debate teams at that time and debating whether or not Iowa should do away with the death penalty. Well, Harold Hughes came to office as governor and pushed through a bill to abolish the death penalty, and we've not had it since, even though some reactionary Republicans would like to bring it back. We started our community college system under Harold Hughes as governor. And so a lot of young people really worked very hard in those years to elect people to office. Later on, when I came back after my service in the military, I then, still young, got involved in the anti-war activities, anti-Vietnam War activities at that time in the late 60s, early 70s. And again, it was young people that really got people elected to office, one of them being me in 1974. I was only 34 years old, and they were just very, we built our whole campaign on a student movement at Iowa State, basically, but the other colleges in my district, Simpson and Graceland and the community colleges were all involved, but Iowa State was sort of our linchpin. And so through all of my time in public office, it's been young people, especially college young Democrats, that really formed the core a lot of times of our campaigns. And even though they didn't win, they moved the ball forward. They made it better the next time. I think the most recent proof of that is the recent re-election of Barack Obama. I think it's absolutely for certain that his victory was built upon the shoulders of young progressive Democrats around the country. And that was very true in Iowa. I saw how many of you worked in the campaign, going door to door, mobilizing voters, working right up until the polls closed on Election Day, and of course we carried the state again for Barack Obama. And we kept the Iowa State Senate in good hands, and we made great strides in the Iowa House. Now, 2 years from now, in 2014, we have some new challenges. As many of you know, as I'm sure you all know by now, I announced that I will not be seeking re-election to a 6th term in the United States Senate. I said it's time for me to move on. My health is good. I've been very blessed with good health, but I think it's time to move on and, quite frankly, let some younger people start moving up into positions of authority and responsibility. So I hope that you will try to replicate again in 2014 what you were so successful at in 2012. Organizing, mobilizing, being enthusiastic, and getting people registered, getting them out to vote, and carrying the message out. Again, as I've said, in my long history, the one thing I'm absolutely convinced of is that many older people a lot of times look to see what the younger people are thinking. Where are they headed? And believe it or not, you may not think they listen to you, but they do. And many times they take their cues from where you're headed and what you're thinking. I think they do look to you for the new era of leadership. So again, this is my way of saying, again, get ready for next year, for 2014. The reactionary forces in this country and in Iowa want to turn the clock back. They don't like the progressive changes that we're making. They've been trying to kill Obamacare ever since it started. But more and more people are recognizing how vitally important it is to make sure that this universal new health care system that they call Obamacare, which quite frankly I think is a plus rather than a minus, and talking about Obamacare. People now get coverage even though they have pre-existing conditions. Kids can stay on their policy until they're age 26. Families recognize that as a good thing. So many good things in this health care bill, but they want to turn it back. They still do. And if they were to get into power, they would. So we got to make sure that we keep in control, not only here in Washington, but that we gain our seats. Now, I'm not running for re-election, but as far as I know, there is one very young, very bright, very talented young man who is a congressman right now who is seeking my seat. And it looks like he will be the nominee of our party. I don't see anyone else stepping forward. He's been very aggressive in putting his organization together. And of course, that's Bruce Braley, by the way, an Iowa State University graduate. As is Dave Loebsack, our congressman, is also an Iowa State University graduate. So this is going to be a key race, the U.S. Senate race in Iowa in 2014. And I'm counting on you to do for our candidate, who looks like it will be Bruce Braley, to do for him what your predecessors did for me when I first ran for the Senate 30 years ago. And then also we have a governor's race in Iowa. We don't know exactly who our candidate is going to be yet, but that's also going to be a key race for us in Iowa, as well as keeping the Iowa Senate and finally winning back the Iowa House. And we don't. And again, we really need your help on these things going forward to next year. But it's not just winning that we're after. It's not just winning an election. It's winning an election so that we can continue on a progressive path in America and in Iowa, to make sure that every child, no matter where he or she is born under what circumstances, has every opportunity for as good of an education as you're getting right now. To make sure that college students can go through college without a mountain of debt hanging over their heads when they get out of college. It's unconscionable what's happening to young people today with all the debts that they have going to college. That shouldn't be, and it doesn't have to be that way. We can make these changes. Make sure that we have good job opportunities here in America. Close down some of those tax loopholes where corporations actually get tax breaks if they ship jobs overseas. That's got to end. Companies want to start jobs here and create opportunity in America, fine. I'll give them all the breaks they want, but not if they want to ship those jobs overseas. We have to make sure that our technological advances continue in this country. But we also want to make sure that every person is able to reach his or her full potential, regardless of, as I said, the circumstances of their birth, regardless of whether they are disabled or not disabled. Every person should have the basic human right to fulfill their full potential. That's why we want to win elections, because we know this is good for our country, it's good for our society, it's good for the world. And this is how we lead, and this is how we guide, and this is how we become that shining city on a hill. Not through force of arms, not through force of arms, not because we got the most bombs and the most tanks and the best military. It's because we uphold those values that other countries have looked to for all these years, that makes us really unique and really different as a society. So these progressive values, as I say, are being attacked by the Tea Party and the fundamentalists, the right wing. It's up to you now, but I'm still going to stay in the fight. I'm not saying I'm not getting out of it. I'm going to be in it, but it's up to you to really take it forward now. And I have every confidence that you will step up and do as fine a job as young people did in my time when I was young and when I first started out. And I know you'll do that. And I know I can count on you to make sure that we continue this kind of progress. So thank you for your activism. Thank you for your dedication, your hard work. And let's make sure that we have a good year in 2014. Thank you.